Hey everyone, and welcome as we continue our study through the New Testament, looking at the New Testament church. And today, we actually start week 71 of this study. It's hard to believe we've been doing it this long, but we're going to be looking at to live or living as citizens of heaven, as Paul is going to instruct them to do. And this is going to come from Philippians 1, verses 27 through 30. And it's been a little bit. So Philippians 1 took a while to get through, and like I said, we're going through the Philippians portion. The sections are divided up into to smaller little thoughts and smaller little sections. The way it's broken out, and the way we've broken it out, and so it does take a little bit longer to get through it. And each section is a little shorter, so making each video a little bit shorter. Y'all might like that. And so again, just wanted to let you know why, each of these are now, so a lot of these have been like 4 to 5 minutes instead of, the typical 10 minutes. So that's just the kind of way this is broken down. So we will continue this Philippians 1 verses 27 through 30. Here it says, Paul wrote, "Above all, you must live as citizens of heaven, conducting yourself in a manner worthy of the good news about Christ. Then, whether I come and see you again or only hear about you, I will know that you are standing together with one spirit and one purpose, fighting together for the faith, which is the good news. Don't be intimidated in any way by your enemies. This will be a sign to them that they are going to be destroyed, but that you are going to be saved, even by God Himself. For you have been given not only the privilege of trusting in Christ, but also the privilege of suffering for Him. We are in this struggle together. You have seen my struggle in the past, and you know that I am still in the midst of it," because he's still in jail. So Paul here is encouraging the Philippian Christians to live in a way that is worthy of the good news, particularly by standing strong despite their persecution, standing up, standing strong, showing the people who are persecuting them who they are, and how that they're strong and they're going to stand for Christ. And he reminds them, like, we are foreigners in this world, right? And that as foreigners, that we don't belong to this world. We're citizens of heaven. We're here temporarily, and so, because as believers, we are citizens of heaven. And he says, standing up to them, showing them, who you are, who your true citizenship is, will be a sign to them that they are going to be destroyed, but that you are going to be saved. Now, the way this is translated, it really, I don't know, the way I wanted to throw this in here. The way I like the way the New Living Translation puts this, and I think this is the meaning behind what Paul was saying. Basically, as translated here, right? He's saying that the persecutors would be convicted by the Philippians example, right? That they would see the way they are, and that some of them would be convicted. And so I feel that that's what they're. Now it could mean that and be translated as that a sign to them that you are going to be saved, but a sign to you that you are. I'm sorry, a sign to them that you are going to be destroyed, but a sign to you that you're going to be saved. And by that interpretation, the persecutors would remain blind to the truth. I like to think that, because Paul uses an example similar to this in other locations, that by staying strong, by staying faithful, it's a sign to them of who we are, that we are going to be saved, and that some of them would be convicted by that example. And so I don't know. Again, it could lean either way. I like the New Living Translation. I like the way that it translated there. In the end, it's not going to matter, make a huge difference. But as we run into little things like that, I like to point them out and show them to people. And so Paul then goes on to talk about how the privilege of suffering, right? When we hear that, we're like, why is it a privilege to suffer? No one, it's like almost like no one in their right minds will say, hey, oh yeah, I had a privilege of having to go through some suffering. But that's the way the world thinks, right? And the world considers it dishonorable to suffer. But Christians, right, our mindset should consider it an honor because we're suffering for Him. It honors Christ, right? Just in the same way He had to suffer, we have to suffer. And so we should see that as a privilege of having to suffer for them. And then Paul reminds them at the end of that we are in this struggle together. Both Paul and the Philippians faced strong opposition. They tried to kill Paul. I'm sure some of the Philippians had probably tried to be killed. They were definitely persecuting them. Paul was in prison, and the Philippians were being persecuted. And so he's like, hey, reminding them, right? I'm not asking you to do anything I'm not willing to do. I'm not talking to anything that I haven't gone through, that you haven't gone through, that I haven't gone through. And so he's letting them know, hey, we are in this together, and we are to live as citizens of heaven. Remind them who we are, even though they're going to persecute us. Remind us them who we are. That way we can have influence on them too. And in the end, right, we're suffering for Christ. So we just, it's a privilege. It's a privilege what we're going through, and just remind them that we're to get through this together. So at the end, we're starting in chapter 2. Tomorrow we'll look at having an attitude of Christ. It's a little bit longer section, 11 verses, but we'll look at that. And as always, I hope you are learning from this. I hope you get something from it as we go through it, or it's just a reminder, a good refresh as we read through the Bible together. I encourage anyone who hasn't to subscribe to the channel. That way you can continue to follow along with us as we go all the way through this. We're going to run this all the way out through Revelation, just looking at the Bible daily, and that way we have a little bit of a Bible study every single day. So as always, appreciate everyone who takes time to watch, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.